Hello there, friend. My name is April San Pedro and welcome to another video. Now, for the past few videos, I've been sharing different journals from Midori, and this time I want to share with you another journal from Hobinichi. Now, I'm pretty sure if you're into journals, stationery, you've heard of this brand. It's one of the most famous Japanese stationery brand, and I wouldn't be surprised why it is so popular, because true enough, the Tomoe River has its own charm, especially when it comes to writing and the compatibility of it with different mediums such as fountain pens, brush pens, and even watercolor. A little brief story about Hibonichi. I actually just found out about this brand few years ago, and even though I am a stationery lover even when I was still a kid, I just tried Hobonichi notebook, I think 2 years ago. That's the very first Hobonichi that I had, and that was the Hobonichi Day-Free A6, and I use it for my faith journal. Apparently, I don't have it with me right now. Now, the first time I used that one, I was really happy with the paper, with the Tomoe River. I like how thin it is, and that it is very compatible with a lot of mediums, especially with watercolor. And I like the sound and the feeling once it's already crumpled, or when it's warping from the water or from your writing, something like that. So I really like that feeling with the Tomoe River. I know for one that I still want to use Hobonichi. However, I had a hard time finding the right techo for me, because it's kind of like a planner, although some of the Hobonichi users that I've seen, they use it in different manner. Some really use it as their daily journal, some use it as their workhorse planner, especially for this one. But I find it difficult to be consistent with the daily journaling using the Hobonichi, because I found a journal that suits my needs best, except that it wasn't a Tomoe River, which I'll be sharing a video soon about my lineup. I really had a hard time figuring out which Hobonichi is best for me for this year. And I know I really want to have a Hobonichi journal this year. And so, I finally found my Hobonichi piece, if that's what you call it. After all the videos that I've watched, all the photos that I've seen, and all the inspiration, I finally decided to get the Hibonichi Weeks for this year's journaling. So just like 2 years ago, this is also my first time to use the Hibonichi Weeks. And just like the first time I did try the Hibonichi with the Day-Free A6, I was really surprised how small and thin it is. That's because of the Tomoe River. So in this video, I want to share with you my very first Hibonichi Techo Weeks. I wanted to get the Mega Weeks actually, because I wanted to have more pages at the back. Apparently, I decided too late already, just like my previous journals. So the design is the Emma and Georgina, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So the design is Emma and Georgina. It's a Hibonichi Techo English edition. So since this is my first time, I'm assuming that they have this in Japanese originally. And then mine starts on Monday. So I'm also not sure if there's a version that starts on a Sunday. So basically, this is the entire packaging. It comes with just a plastic packaging, and then some of the labels are already printed on the plastic. So I got this one via Shopee. Try to link where I got this in the description, although I'm not sure if by this time the seller has more stocks, because I was actually lucky to have this one left for some reason. So anyway, it's a weekly type. There's 73 memo pages, and then January starts until December 2024. So it says here January start, but it actually starts from December. So I'll show it to you later. You know, when you open it, it's pretty much on point. No other extra packaging. Then there's these two acetate sheet that was actually placed at the top and the bottom, or front and back cover. So I'm assuming it's a way of securing the journal. But I actually like this idea because I was thinking of making a clear tip-in for my journal, so this one would be very perfect. And then there's this brochure that says life is present. Got to write that down. And some drawings with some captions in Japanese. So if you're into journaling, which I'm pretty sure you are if you have a Hobinichi, this one is perfect for your ephemera. So there's this description at the back, the difference between the Hobonichi Techo. So this is what I got before the day free, and I really wanted to get the Hobonichi Techo planner, which is not here in the description. I really like the planner because, as I've heard, since the planner was meant for English writing, so it has bigger grid size compared to the cousin. But since the cousin has already an English version, I'm not sure if they adjusted the grid size also. So I would probably know about it the moment I try it out. So yeah, I wanted to try the Hobonichi Techo, but I really know myself that I cannot commit the daily planning or the daily journaling using it. So I opted for the weeks instead. Now, when I got this, I was really surprised because it was so light and it was so thin. I did not expect how light it gets, because I tried using this kind of planner from an insurance company before, and I think the chipboard used for the binding was heavy, but this one is really soft but sturdy enough to secure your journal. And I also have another one here. Well, this one is longer though. This one is shorter. So this one is from Sumkin. So just to give you a comparison, this one is a bit heavy because of the pages that it has, and it's longer. So yeah, so that's why I was surprised when I got this, because I did not expect how light and thin it was. But nonetheless, if you're using this for your planning, for your daily planner, I think this is really very convenient because it's so light. There's a blank page where you can just write anything that comes up in your mind. The cover is actually made of fabric. I believe they call it the Liberty Fabrics. And the design, as I mentioned a while ago, is an Emma and Georgina. Now, I also like the Emma and Georgina version of the A6 or the A5 covers, but then again, I cannot commit with the daily journaling. Plus, getting the cover would go beyond my budget already. So I think the option for the weeks was more of like with two factors. One is it's easier to commit with this one because it has shorter space for writing, and the other one is the budget restriction. So I guess that's why I also end up having to decide to get the Hobonichi Weeks. So anyway, there's a 2024 gold emboss or foil stamp here, and also at the back that it says Hobonichi. It's not so clear, but the small touch of it kind of looks really nice. So I believe if you get the plain covers, this one is more visible, of course. So one thing I'm worried about though is because I did not expect that this would be a fabric cover, and I didn't really want to get the clear cover because I just wanted to have a bare notebook with me, just like this one. So I don't mind getting my covers dirty. Kind of makes me feel that that's the purpose of it, like it gives personality. But this one though gives a different story because it's fabric and not just paper. So we'll see if I'll get a clear cover maybe next time, because this one will serve me as a daily gratitude journal, so I won't be bringing this with me anywhere. So we'll see about that. Also, I noticed there's also a gold foil stamp here of 2024. So if you actually own Hobonichi Weeks previously, or if you like collecting or like using this one, it would really look so nice in on your shelf, because you'll see right away the year when you use this kind of journal. Okay, so when you open it, this is the pattern that you will see, which is a hobo. Yeah, I think it's just hobo, a pattern of hobo text. And then here you'll find it says Hobonichi Weeks, and then their usual calendar. There's a space for important dates, for events and national holidays. So this is one of the reasons why I cannot decide which Hobonichi notebook to get, because I don't need this information basically for my need, because I wanted to use the Hobonichi for my daily journaling, whether it's a memory keeping or daily gratitude or something else. But the monthlies and the other things inside, I kind of find it a waste of page, and I kind of don't like having empty pages or pages that is not filled with something that I've written. So just like this one, there's a space for I would say this is like a year at a glance. And if you're using this for your daily planning, I would assume you really have a very small handwriting, because the space is really small. So if you want to use this for birthdays, it's possible if you have one name per box, because it's good enough for one name. But if you're writing two names or an anniversary or something else on one box, I think it's really small. So on this part, I'm not sure how other people use this one yet. And as for me, I'm still having a hard time figuring out how to use this, lest I just disregard. So that's just one spread. And then here comes the monthlies. It actually starts during the December of last year. Now, had I known it started December, actually even the weeklies, which I'll show later, started November. And had I known it started November, I should have decided right away so I can already use it. But nonetheless, I was still able to use it, which I'll show in a bit. So here are the monthlies. Again, I don't know how to use this one, because so the purpose of this journal would be a daily gratitude, because I like the space that it's just small. So I had a one-liner gratitude journal before, and I really enjoyed using that one because it practices me to look at even just small details of my daily life, and that that I'm thankful for. There's no pressure of decorating it or taking photos of it. Just write something on it. So that's what I've thought of using this journal for. It's more of like just simply for writing my gratitude daily, and the space would be just enough for just like a one-liner. However, I had a hard time thinking what to do with this one. I'll mention later an idea. So anyway, so this is the monthlies. So last time that I had Hobonichi, the day-free version, I actually use it for my faith journal. What I did with the monthlies was I write one word or a small phrase from what I've written or from my reflection during that day. And so I would know during this month I had an entry. That was the purpose of my monthlies before. But right now, I don't see the purpose of doing that, because I'll be just writing a one-liner, 1, 2, or just a phrase per day. And I'm not sure how to summarize it into one word or something else for the months. And so this is what I was really hesitant about using this, because if I cannot figure out how to use this space, the monthlies, then as you can see, I will be wasting this much paper already at the front. And although this is very thin, I just don't like having empty pages. I saw some people writing or drawing, doodling on every box. Some also uses stickers. So we'll see. We'll see. For now, I haven't done anything yet. And so yeah. So that one goes until March of 2025. So I really, as you can see, if you're using this for your planning, you can write on some of your plans up until March. But for someone like me who don't know how to use the monthlies yet, no idea how to use the monthlies yet, I have then 3 more months or 3 spreads that is actually wasted. It says here January start, but it actually started November 27 of last year. So like I said, had I known it started November, I could have decided faster, so I would already figure out how to use this since the month of November. But nonetheless, I was still able to backlog during December time. And so before January, I was able to use this already and try to figure out if this one is really working. Well, actually, I really have to make it work. This is the layout for the Hibonichi Weeks, just in case you're not familiar yet. So on the left page, you'll find horizontal spaces for your weekly. So it starts on Monday, ends with Sunday, and the Sunday is on a red color. And then on the right side has actually a grid page with the month here on your right side. And then if you can notice, there's actually a darker line here. That part, I'm not really sure how it works, because I noticed the day free also has that one. So yeah, I'm not sure what's the purpose of having a darker line here. So I'm thinking maybe a date or something, and then you can just write something on the side. But nonetheless, I will be disregarding the darker line. Anyway, it's not that visible or bothering. And then at the bottom, there's I think their signature style with their journals, which has a quote at the bottom, and there's also a calendar on this part here. So the calendar here, actually, you will see that there's that this week was actually circled and circled, so just like this one. So yeah, it motifs and different quotes from different people and artists. So okay, so that's the entire weeks, and that goes up until December of 2024. Well, I think the entire week, so it goes up until January 5, 2025. And then this is the part where you will be finding the extra notes. So before the extra notes, there's this part that an information about useful abbreviations, and then here's the title for the notes. You can write the pages and the subjects, which I kind of like the idea of having a page number per page, and then the rest are empty. It goes on until 73 pages. And then at the back, so just like their usual Hobinichi shows, even the day free has this. There's this information about, like this one is about measuring size, and then favorites. So that's like one spread. Now what's nice about this is it's already in English version, so you can, this information is a bit useful already compared to the one that I got, the day free version. So I didn't have any idea what to use the information for because it was written in Japanese. And then the My 100. Now this one, I'm also still confused if I'll be able to use this, or I don't know, we'll see. And then there's also a page that says an interview with myself. Now this one is probably a journaling prompt, which I might sit on, because since the purpose of this one is really for gratitude journal, so it's just mainly journaling. So this one might probably helpful for me. And then on the last few pages, there are recipes, which is actually now helpful because they're now in English version. And then this one is the 365 days check off sheet. I also don't know how to use this. Probably check or mark it if you had an entry for that day. I'm not sure. And then addresses. Now, if you're using it for a planner, this might probably useful. However, you only have like 6 slots for the addresses, so I'm not sure if that would be very helpful when it comes to your planning. And the last one would be your personal information, and then the Hobonichi websites and where you can find them, and about this book. Now I don't know about the other show, but for one thing I know, the day free doesn't have this, so I'm not sure if the planner, the 5-year, or even the cousin has a book number. But I kind of like this idea though. And I forgot that they also have this at the back. So this one is the Liberty fabrics. So this one is an information about the Liberty fabrics, and then there's a clear pocket that you can attach for this one here, which is kind of helpful. But if you have a clear sleeves, you might wanna use it at the front here, because if you use it at the side, on the side or on the cover side, it will be redundant because you can also use the clear cover as your pocket. So I'm also thinking if I'll be using this here or probably use this in my planner, because like I said, the purpose of this is daily journaling. So I won't be using any other ephemeras or anything that will be useful for the pocket. So a little glimpse on how I use this one. So I used this during December and was quite excited and a bit nervous to write on my first first entry. I'm not sure if you're also like that, but I try to remind myself it's just paper, and every time you make a mistake, you can always just use your handy dandy correctional tape, which a must in my pencil case all the time. So this is how I'm using this. It's still bare. I'm not yet fully done doing my backlogs, but pretty much this is how I'll be using it for the entire year. So the purpose is daily gratitude. Like I said, it's either a one-liner, 2 lines, or just a phrase that I'm thankful for during that day. So I write that one here on the side per day. So I try to just write short sentences, not the entire story of what happened, because I have another journal for that, which is the daily journaling. And on this side, I actually had a hard time figuring out how to use this side up until I realized I will be using it for my weekly reflection. So this is the part where I'd be creative maybe sometimes, or sometimes I'd just probably write words. So here I was thinking I'd write something here, and then also here on this side. So a reflection during the entire week, probably what happened or what really struck me most during the entire time. So it's more of about happy things, or the things that I'm really thankful for the entire week, rather than memory keeping. So that's the purpose of this one. So as you can see, there are parts that are still blank, and even the present time. So yeah, I haven't really sit down and reflect on my weeklies, and I still have few weeks to go back to, plus the monthlies that I'm not sure what to do. But nonetheless, I'm getting there already. So yeah, that's the purpose of this one. So I might decorate on this part, sometimes I won't, just like this journal, that it's just more of writing instead of like being creative about it. One challenge for me though is the empty pages at the back, because for one, I'm already okay filling in the one box per day on this side, and then another reflection for the week. Now as for the back, I'm not sure if I still have the time to actually write on some of my reflections or decorate here, but yeah, we'll see if whatever goes. So just like this week, I felt like writing longer, so I'm thinking I'd probably use this side for this certain days that I feel like writing more. So I'd probably use that one. I just can't figure out if I'm gonna decorate it or just merely writing. So this is what I like about Hobonichi. I really like the feeling of the texture of handwriting at the back. And then if I use watercolor, which I haven't yet, I really like the crumpled feeling and how it becomes bulky at the end of the year. So yeah, that's pretty much about this journal and the purpose of this journal. And I like using different colors from a fountain pen or just a ballpoint. And I've been experimenting whether I like having different colors or sometimes just the usual colors. So we'll see. One thing for sure though is I don't want to think so much about decorating my pages for this journal, because it's more of like a writing journal for me, rather than my memory keeping, which I spend more time decorating, and for my faith journal as well. But I'm hoping I'll be able to share some videos on my reflection page for this side or at the back of it. So yeah, we'll see about that. So there you go. I hope if you haven't had the chance to check the Hobonichi Weeks yet, this video actually gave you an idea what it looks like inside and what you can use it for aside from planning, of course. If you're into drawing, I think this is also a nice way to practice because it's just very small. You don't need the entire page, but you also have a space for a bigger one. So yeah, that's up to you though. So yeah, thank you so much for watching till the end, and I really hope you enjoyed this video and gave you a glimpse of the Hobonichi Weeks. So alright, thank you so much for watching, friends, and happy journaling, happy planning, and I hope you're getting excited using your new journals and planners for 2024. Have a great weekend, friends. Bye!